It's as plain as the nose on your face. Today we are going to draw a nose, and I'm going to show you an easy way, or one easy way, that you can draw a nose. And it's super duper easy to start. You actually just need a pencil and an eraser if you want to get fancier. I'll show you how you can do a little bit of shading in a minute. But first of all, let's just start with drawing a nose. The very first thing you're going to do is draw a circle. And it doesn't have to be dark because we're going to be doing a lot of erasing. Doesn't have to be fancy because we're going to be doing erasing and adjusting. But first of all, you have a circle. Then you're going to draw two small circles, one on each side. They do not have to be perfect. They do not have to be the exact same size. In fact, it's better if they're not the exact same size because noses are not symmetrical. Then you're going to draw two lines. One, two. I know we're going super fancy here today. And then you're going to take an eraser and you're just going to erase those overlapping lines there. And you're going to erase this line up top, the top part of this big circle in the center there. All right. And that's it. That's the beginning of your nose. You have a nose. You have just drawn a nose. Now you're going to say, okay, well, that's great. I want to do more with the nose than just, have a little line drawing of a nose. I hear you. I understand. Now we're going to connect the circles a little bit. We're going to smooth this all out. So this part, smooth it, and then this bottom part, we're going to smooth it and smooth it. So now we've really connected the nose with the center part with the side parts. Okay, so now that you have these, you're going to note that your light source is coming from up here, and you're going to be casting the shadow. The nose is casting the shadow over on this side if the light is on this side. So we're going to have some shadow over here, down here. This is just the bottom part of the nose, casting a shadow as well. This is also where you can adjust if you wanted these a little more symmetrical, which again, remember, they don't have to be. Noses are not symmetrical. You can adjust it with the shading part. And then this is a button nose. We're going to have a little button nose here. So we're going to do a little bit of shadow over here. And just following that circle, that central circle is our guide for making some shadows. The little balls of the nostrils, we're going to have little shadows. A little bit of shadow over here. Basically, just imagine they're little balls. And wherever the light would hit a ball, like a soccer ball, that's where it's going to be brighter. Okay, and then we're going to do, okay, so the nose is coming out, so we're going to do a little bit of shading here. And one thing that helps to remember when you're coloring grayscale, remember, is dark, medium, and light. So it'll be darker over here, medium here, and then super light out here. Whatever is lightest is coming closer to you. Whatever's darkest is going away from you. Now, take that paintbrush, and you don't have to do this part. This is a great sketched out nose that we have here, but if you want to smooth it, soften it, really build up the shadows and highlights, one thing you can do is just take a paintbrush and smooth out those shadows. You're basically smudging the graphite. You're blending it into the paper, smoothing it out. And I drew the shadows this way. So now I'm going this way with the paintbrush. I'm going in the opposite direction to really help smooth and sort of blur the lines that we have going on here. Now I'm going to keep building up those shadows. And there's no hard and fast rule with how many layers of shadows you do, how many layers of pencil do you do. Um, First of all, we're just sketching, and that's just for fun. But also, it depends on, you know, the individual drawing. How stark is the lighting? How, you know, what shape is the nose? Gonna do a little bit more build up here. Keep building up our shadows a little bit more. Remember, this is a ball. This started as a circle. We're just making that circle a little more three-dimensional. Back with that paintbrush. Smudging it all around. And by having these shadows around the nose, so even on this side, there is some trace of shadow. It helps make the center part of the nose look like it's really coming off the page. I'm going to pull that shadow up a bit with the paintbrush. You could do that just with your pencil as well. Really making this cute button nose look like it's coming off the page with our shadows. Gonna push it a little bit more. Remember, dark, medium, and light. So this side needs to be darker than the medium side. So I'm just going again with the pencil. Making sure we have some serious dark shadows going on. And I really want this side of the button nose, I think, to be a bit darker. So you guys can really see the dark, medium, and light effect for lighting. I'm going to pull this up, pull that shadow up a little bit, right? Connect the shadows just like we connected those circles in the very beginning. Let's get some good dark shadows in there. And if you're finding this video helpful or inspiring, go ahead and tap that like button. It really helps motivate me in the studio when I get likes. You like me. You like the button nose. Okay. Gonna smooth out that dark shadow again for this particular drawing. We're going with a smooth shadow. Then take, this is my mono zero eraser. You could use any eraser you want. This is a smaller drawing, so I'm using kind of a smaller eraser here. You're gonna sculpt out the highlights in the nose. So this button nose, the very front here, it's coming towards you. It's catching more of the light, so it's gonna be lighter. And then this center part of the nose, it's coming towards you. It's catching the light, so it's going to be a little bit lighter. This nostril, same deal. It's catching more of that light, and it's coming out from the cheek, so it's going to catch a little more light. This nostril, it's not in all the lighting, but I mean, it's coming up from the cheek. It's standing out still, so it's going to be catching a little bit more lighting. So just think, if it's coming out at all, it's going to catch a little bit more lighting. And then you can just take a paintbrush, squish all that away. Or if you don't want to deal with remnants of an eraser, you can get kneaded eraser. They're very absorbent, and they'll actually absorb the graphite, and they don't leave traces of eraser bits all over your paper. Then you want to soften this a little bit, and you just take that paintbrush again, the one you've been using. You can just gently sweep over the highlights you just did with the eraser, and it'll soften them. And you can keep going with pushing your shadows, which we are going to do next. So we really want dark. We want dark to really make this nostril or nose look like it's standing out. So under the nostrils, that's a pretty dark area of the nose. This side of the nose, because the light's coming from over here, it's okay to push the shadow a little bit more. This side of the nose, you can definitely push it a little more if you want to. This underside of that button nose, basically just wherever you want the shadows to look really nice and rich and dark. It's okay to keep adding some layers of graphite to get that three-dimensional effect. Then you can just soften it. You can always just soften it with the paintbrush. So what do you think of this with the three circles and then the paintbrush and the erasers? Do you like this approach or method to drawing a nose, or do you prefer a totally different approach? Leave a comment. Let me know. But there it is. That is one way to draw a nose. If you want to add color to your art, go check out my playlist, How to Color Like a Pro. And as always, stay creative.